is about your love for skating, and
Cool.
you know, it's really great because this is a really cool looking pole to be ripping on.
Yeah, I thought so. It was tough physically to do it.
So tell me,
I think I did it all with a brush on an extension stick, like a extension pole for a roller
mm-hmm.
to reach up high because it was on that angle. I kept sliding down.
Oh damn!
It was tough. It
Well,
was fun though.
well, you know, again, because skating in your life and when you were a kid, right? You've mentioned that it's really the graphics too that really kind of pulled your attention to the decks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was like, as a kid, the only time I'd seen like hyper graphics, was like comic books. And the first time I walked into a skate shop in San Diego to see that wall of decks like what you're seeing there, just blew my fucking mind as a kid. It was just like, what the fuck is this about? I gotta understand this. You ride on this and that gets destroyed? Like, what the fuck? What a crazy thing, Yeah, I bought it hook, line, and sinker, man. I still do skateboard graphics to this day. And what you're seeing is just a mix of graphics I did for Think. I worked for them from 93 to 97.
What are the brands?
I did probably 150 graphics over those years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the 90s. It was high turnover.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, some of the decks we would print maybe 400, and some there'd be thousands of them. And it was this real kind of industry of just throw shit out there and see if it sticks. Like there's one right above my head there. It's like a little Chihuahua dog with horns, and it just said "horn dog" on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a dumb idea. It's just something I thought of. I thought this like might appeal to 12-year-olds, like little horny fuckers, like a horn dog. Yeah, all right, the horn dog. And it, all the guys that think were like, dude, all right, we'll make a few hundred of those. Think times, if I remember right, like you never knew what was going to hit. Some I tried so hard on, and
have your boards become collector's items?
Oh, sure, to certain folks. Yeah. I think most folks that are collectors, that's not the era they're collecting from.
Right.
So, also, I mean, just decks were getting fucking destroyed in that era too. It's like not too many of them ended up in closets and stuff. It was just a different time. And these were from the veteran series I did for Santa Cruz, and they wanted me to just kind of do my thing, my style, but I consulted with each rider on the content for sure. They were quite clear and particular about what they wanted, and I think I came through for them, They were stoked on these. That's one of the best series that I ever did for sure. And these are just kind of dream things, little posters I made. Different classic shapes that I loved.
The signature, so this is like a signature board, this one here.
Well, the one on the left is a poster I did for House of Roulette, where we printed that picture of me kind of painting, and then I masked that, and then I sprayed an actual full-size tag over it, and then removed the masking. That's how that kind of worked. Yeah, and that one's not a great example. I was having a hard time with the paint. You can see any graffiti writer would be like, "Oh,
so
no,
Mike,
he's fighting with that one."
I always have, I always, have this conversation with writers, right? At which point we become the brand, right? We decide that we're the brand.
That was a whole evolutionary process in my mind.
Right, we were always,
and it happened from tattooing.
Right.
Like when we were, as graffiti writers, entering the tattoo field, we were like, well, fuck, most of our clientele, at least the start, is probably going to be fellow graffiti writers. But if I use my real name, they're not going to ever know who the fuck that is.
Right.
So some of us went with, using our regular first name and our graffiti name as our last name. And some didn't. Some really wanted to proactively distance their tattoo work from their graffiti work, you know?
Right.
And power to them, you know? It was just kind of this adaptation thing for me. And it just, you know, at the same time I was doing so much commercial work, it just made sense to kind of just roll with Mike Giant, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then as a tattoo artist, you got put on, you were curious about putting graffiti on yourself. And
yeah, the first few, I have 5 graffiti pieces that say Giant on my body.
And you apprenticed with Nala, right? As you mentioned.
Yeah, East Side in New York.
Tell me about finding the courage and to do something like a tattoo, something permanent.
Well, it is heavy, bro. It's really heavy. You know, I loved getting tattoos. I loved tattoo art. I had interest in learning how to tattoo many, many years before Nala approached me about learning. Yeah, I was just in it. And, you know, everybody was telling me, if you ever tattoo, Mike, you're going to probably be good because you're got a steady hand, dude, in a design sense, and that'll probably help you out, you know, and it did, you know. But I was kind of in no hurry, you know. So when it came time, I was even, let's see, that would have been 98. I would have been 27 when I started tattooing. So that's the thing, man. I was just, yeah, I was already working as a professional. So to pick up the tattoo machine wasn't that big of a deal.
Nice. And you committed yourself to it, and you've done some amazing work over the years, and you even opened up the shop in Albuquerque.
Yeah. I've had really amazing clients too. It's like, even like Ben here, a lot of that was just him being like, I love what you do, Mike. I just want my arms and stuff to look like your black books, you know? And not everybody was that way at all, you know? So yeah, a lot of that like signature work, so to speak, is really on the clients to me.
Right.
You know?
It's interesting to me. I mean, he's got a wild style piece on his forearms, and then he's got
got a lot of stuff on him.
Yeah, on his skull,
he's
got a revolver and a snake.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Ben got dipped.
But yeah, my man is brave, because I know that's sensitive.
No, he's the sweetest dude too. He owns a shop in Albuquerque, Blacklist, and yeah, he's fucking mad talented. And all the rest of his body now is filled in just as much as the stuff I did on him. He's got it, like personally, he has an incredible collection of tattoos now. But that was really fun to do all that on Ben.
So
he sits like a fucking stone. You know, those kind of people, I'm always happy to tattoo them.
It's interesting to me how, you know, writers, you know, go around with their black books collecting tags from other folks. People who love tattoo, they seek out their favorite tattoo artists.
Well, and as a person that makes tattoos, that's how I got a lot of my education, from going to the best tattooers that I could find and watching all the little things of what they were doing. And if they were cool, I could ask questions even, you know. That's also actually, it's pretty normal to get tattoos for free from the people you work with. So I always took that as this thing of like, well, I want to save room because I'm going to try to get into better and better and better shops as my career develops. And then I'll have access to those A-list people. And when I got there, as far as I was concerned, when I worked at Everlasting, I got decked out like fast.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the guys at New School tipped me a lot too. But it's just, again, it's your education. You know, you can't go to college for tattooing just yet. So you just got to go get them.
Right. Well, if you don't want to, but if you don't want to stick a needle, you can do a project like this where you paint on your model.
This is fun. Again, like, just like me just having fun and just being like, just, I had these, I did the first series of these of like the tattoos on the photographs. What did I say earlier? I can't remember when that was. I think it was probably 2005 or so with friends in Albuquerque. and my sister and her friends did their hair and makeup and the styling and all that, and then I shot the photos, and then I drew the tattoos on the photos. This was many years later in San Francisco, and I shot my friend's digital, and then I did the illustrations on paper, and then added them in Photoshop, and then printed them as if they were like an old film photograph with the sloppy border.
Right.
Again, like, you know, faking it, but it's an homage really to that era. That's all I'm trying to say with that. I'm not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you pull it off, right? You again. This is why
those are fun.
This is why
those are cool to me now too, because they're friends of mine. You know, and it's just cool to see. Like, that was so long ago. Those women are grown ass women, man. Now with careers and killing it on their own. You know.
Sure.
It's cool.
So now, real skin work. I mean, here we see how good you are with the gun. I mean, your line work.
Nobody calls it a gun.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. So tell me, school me.
No, it's a thing. Tattooers never call it a gun.
Okay.
It's always a tattoo machine.
Tattoo machine.
I'm giving you some knowledge there. It's one of those things when you hear like a kid like, yeah, I got myself a tack gun. You're like, oh man, what'd you get, bro? You know.
Yo,
but
and
yeah,
I know
it's always
some
a
good
tattoo machine.
I'm embarrassed right now because all the tattoo heads, tattoo artists I know, they're gonna be like, yo, you dick. Yeah, but
no, that's just it. It's just one of those. It's one of those things. Even in the profession, like, you know, it had such a bad rap, and people just kind of wanted to call our equipment a gun.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Really, it's more like a fucking sewing machine.
There you go. And here was one of your commercial projects. Yeah, the bike.
Yeah. This was great.
So,
for the Bahati Foundation.
Yeah.
It was a foundation to get inner city kids on bicycles and racing. Really fucking cool project.
Mm-hmm. I like the concept.
Yeah, and they just sent me the wheels and stuff, and I just drew all over it. Pretty.
That was actually a kind of out of place random slide because I'm here back at your ink, but it's so beautiful. You know, the best ink because I've lived out in the West Coast for many years, and I've been back and forth, and the tattoo culture there over the years has always been something that fascinated me, and
me too.
You know, people who were doing the old school Venice Beach tattoo cats, and then meeting cartoons, and those guys was pretty amazing.
My mentor Doc had lots of tattoos from the tattooers around Venice Beach. Right, and it's funny. Like, I didn't start tattooing until even way later than that. But I remember seeing that stuff, and also in Albuquerque, that whole fine line style was really popping, and there was a lot of between Albuquerque and LA in that way. Oh, those are good sleeves. That's one of my favorites.
So this was awesome. I love this police car tricked out.
This was a showstopper. This was such a good idea on this one. This is probably his best idea, I think, in the time that I was there. This was good. Yeah, I think he just found a police car. I don't know. It ran. It might have been a movie prop or something, and I think he got a light for the top from a movie prop place, and yeah, he just pulled it up and was just, dude, it's yours. And I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Fuck yeah! What should I do? You know? And I just over the course of like an hour or so, just in front of the whole staff, just fucking smashed the cop car.
Wow. What became of it?
I think it's in his warehouse, unless he sold it or something. It was in the warehouse when I was working there. It was just tucked in the back. People would see it and be like, no fucking way, the cop car's here. Holy shit. What picture it? It was so fucking shit hot.
And this is at a...
See, there was a skateboard through the windshield. Oh, yeah. So cool.
So place me. Where is this?
It's at the trade show. So I think him and his wife drove it to the trade show, and even got a police escort on the freeway. They thought they were going to get pulled over, but they got off at their exit. But yeah, they got it out on the show floor there. They put the T-shirts and stuff from that season in the trunk, and we just hung some the drawings, the original were the graphics for that season, so you could see the graphic on the and then just look up and there's the original drawing, which was I think that's really cool. Just that direct, like, here it is. It's like there's no hiding anything. Yeah, and then they dressed me up again. Movie prop house. I think the cop uniform. That was such a day of getting pictures with everybody with a Rebel 8 hat on. That was shit hot, dude. That was so fucking fun.
Yeah, it looks it. So,
yeah.
Mike, as we start winding this down, just want to remind people as we took this huge arc in your life, starting as a kid.
Yeah, now I'm a cop.
Yeah, and now you're a cop. You're on the other side of it, right?
That's hilarious.
But
really.
In all reality, you still practice and love graffiti painting and style writing, rather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I paint here and there, man. I probably go twice a month, and I'll go here and there. It's not, I don't know, man. It's just like I've done so much in it. I don't feel compelled, like, do it all the time, but sometimes it's like, fuck yeah, simple. It's kind of like like anything. You've been playing golf. You know what I mean? Your friends come in, you haven't gone out and played with us in a long time, man. What the fuck? And you're like, all right, let me get my clubs, and you have fun. And people are stoked.
And given that you're a really prolific guy, what have the last couple of months been like for you in terms of how COVID and all these issues are affecting us at the moment?
Honestly, it hasn't affected my productivity at all. Even like my sales haven't gone down at all. I think people, especially through the stay-at-home order, were looking for that little bonus in their mailbox that costs less than $50. So my poster sales, I was selling them out within the hour, whole editions, sales of the originals. Again, if I'm just doing like 11 by 14 drawings, I usually offer those for $400 or $500, and that's a price point I think a lot of my clients meet. So those will go within minutes. A matter of studio and drawing every single day. Some days I'm just packed. I'm off site working a freelance job or something. But that from graffiti writing, like consistency. Like, did you do any tags today, bro? I can hear him and be like, oh no, I guess I didn't catch any tags today, dude. And he's like, fuck that, we're going out. Like, all right, and yeah, it's been good. I think it's a huge part of my success. It's just that like go, go, go attitude, and not feeling like you have to reinvent the wheel. Just keep at it,
Right. Good stuff. So, Mike, I don't want to keep you too long, and
it's been a pleasure, bro. For real.
It's been wonderful, brother, to kind of, again, I think given, I'll frame it for you like this. I spoke with Cause207 yesterday. He's an older brother graffiti writer. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how naive we were and how crazy those days were of painting trains and walls. And we could have never imagined the impact or the outcome of any of that, really. You couldn't foresee and the thing. And one of the things that's a real pleasure for me, especially for artists that I follow or have known for years, is to kind of understand the arc of the story, of the journey.
Exactly.
And it's so cool, man, to kind of go through this process with you. It's really great. I can't hear you. Hang on a second. I'll try you again. Hang on a second. Sorry, folks, a little technical difficulty. Sometimes the bandwidth, after a certain amount of time, they choke you up. Let's see if Mike joins us. Mike, are you there? Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, this
yeah, I can hear
little
you.
off sync.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Yeah, you were too for a sec there.
I just want to close out by thanking you on behalf of the Museum of Graffiti and our staff, all of us who are a fan of you, and I'm happy to hear that you're maintaining, that your family's well, and man, again,
yeah.
Super great to see you and chat.
Yeah, no, I don't get to talk graffiti much. It's fun. It's, you know, it's such a huge part of my life. It's rad. Thank you.
Yeah, again, and we appreciate everything you've done after graffiti. I mean, I mean, obviously we got to cover some of that stuff, and I think, yeah, we love you as a writer, but also as an artist, man. You a force. It's pretty incredible. So keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
On.
Thank you, brother.